My name is Tony Matthews. I'm a licensed Blue Badge guide, and I'd just like to give a little pod on this particular painting here. It is one of the greatest works in the history of the Renaissance. It was painted by a man called Tiziano Visello, known as Titian. The particular work was commissioned by Duke Alfonso d'Este of Ferrara. At that stage, 400 years ago, one of the wealthiest, most influential people in the entire nation of what is today the Republic of Italy. He commissions a particular set of works on classical themes, and this is to decorate a room in his property called a camerino, which is a small room where you would hang 12 to 24 paintings, and you could admire them in situ in quite close order. The classical works by Catullus and Ovid tell us about the story of Ariadne and Bacchus. He commissions Fra Bartholomew, but unfortunately he does some work, very little, and dies. Raphael Giovanni di Santi is then given the commission. He produces one work, a pre-preparatory drawing, some sketches, and sadly promptly dies. Michelangelo Buonarroti, very famous sculptor, is then given the commission, but as usual he does very little. So in a fit of pique, Duke Alfonso gives the commission to a young upcoming artist known as Titian. He knows Titian, if he can get this right, he will get commission after commission after commission. He really will crack it. So this particular work is incredibly detailed, and it tells a story of, quite simply, the Bacchus and Ariadne myth. There are many ways of interpreting this, so I'll just do it one particular way. Quite simply, there is the bull-headed Minotaur, a monster that lives in this labyrinth of caves. Every 7 to 9 years he gets sacrifices and eats them. One of them is Ariadne, princess, daughter of the king Minos of Crete. She is, along with others, to be sacrificed. The son of the king of Athens, Aegean, his son Theseus, quite simply, meets Ariadne. They become lovers. She gives him a ball of twine to find his way in and out of the labyrinth. She knows this because during her job, which is a priestess, she knows labyrinths. She gives him a magical sword. He kills the monster. He comes out and the lovers lie on this cloak on the ground. Why? Quite simply, they've sailed away. They're going to go back to Athens to celebrate. They come to the wave sound shore of Naxos. They have a feast, they go for water, probably some food. But at night, Athena, patron goddess of Athens, wakes him. I'm sorry, Theseus, you must go now. He is absolutely distraught, so are the crew, because their boss has found a lover, they're all happy, it's fantastic. They sail off. They are so unhappy and distressed, they forget to change the sails from white to black, the sign of the death of the enemy and victory. So, on the left shoulder, just there as I'm pointing, are the white sails. They arrive back in Athens. Aegean, king of Athens, thinks his son has failed, throws himself off a cliff. And today we call it the Aegean Sea, named after him. She is abandoned, but Bacchus arrives with his cortege. You see here, from right to left as it comes across the work, these are the Maenads, the party boys, the girls. They've just been to India, had a great time. He arrives on this chariot drawn by 2 cheetahs. He sees her, she sees him, and you can see the eyes are locked. It is love at first sight, possibly the best depiction you will ever see in history. He jumps off this chariot, drawn by these 2 cheetahs, probably from the private menagerie of the Duke Alfonso. And as he jumps off, she is, whoa, hold on boy, first dinner please. Notice this red cloth accentuates her curves. And he has this red wine coloured cloak and vine leaves in his hair. He jumps across the work. Notice the background, full of the highly expensive pigments and this blue, ultramarine. Most of it came through Venice, comes from Afghanistan, very rare, probably cost about twice the weight of gold. So he's definitely been commissioned from a man who has wealth. And you will notice the cymbals, the tambourines, the pagan bacchanalia. And we see the drunken Silenus on a horse. He is the master of ceremonies. We also see this little satyr, notice with the goat's legs, pulling the head of a calf. It's pretty macabre, because they cut it up, there's going to be a big feast. And you see here this character. Notice the snakes around him. We're going to hear a little something about him on another pod. And you'll notice the breasts are exposed on the left of the women, the symbol of fertility in the ancient world. And what we have here is this work commissioned for him. The Duke Afonso is absolutely pleased. This is fantastic. As an afterthought, he adds the dog. Now the dog is barking at the satyr, but the satyr ignores it. No, I tell you what it is. It wasn't meant to be there in the first place. And it's probably Duke Afonso's dog with the highly expensive jewelled collar as a sign of respect to his patron. The caper flower here at the bottom is the symbol of love in the ancient world. On the right are Iris, the flower and the name of the messenger god. She goes along the curve of a rainbow to take her messages to the gods and the humans. I'm not sure. The town in the background, there's an island and the sea, probably San Marco and Venice. This particular work is full of colour, vibrancy, the detail, the botanical detail of the flowers is perfect. As she steps back in shock, her coronet falls off. She is a princess. Bacchus swears everlasting love, picks up the coronet, throws it in the air, and creates the constellation at the top left, the Aurora Borealis, that they will rule over for eternity. I have a few Venetian masks here. Venice is a place I admire. This particular work, with this lovely detail here, you can see the jasmine in the hair of the little fawn, shows detail, professionalism, extensive use of highly expensive colour. It is the master in action. Duke Afonso is overjoyed. So are we, because in the National Gallery in London you can see this particular work. And I do, when all this lockdown's over, some speciality tours there to go into some great detail of this particular work and explain why it is so important in the genre of Renaissance art. And as I say, I'll do a little pod on this man here, Laocoon, chief priest of Troy, that is tied up in this particular work. I hope you've enjoyed it and have a lovely time. See you all back on the trail of tour guiding soon.